Welcome to Wholeness in Motion Foundation series. This is the ninth video session, and this is about a practice that is within Wholeness in Motion that's about transitions. When I first started doing it 10 or 15 years ago, I called it a locating practice. And then as people were employing it and using it in different places, it got clearer and clearer that it was something we could use for transitions in a classroom, in activities. And in recent years, in the last 5 years or so, I was really moved by a chapter in a book by John O'Donohue called the book was the Space Between Us, where he wrote so eloquently about thresholds in life. And I realized after reading that this is essentially a practice for thresholds, that moment where something is shifting and changing, we're entering into something perhaps even unknown. So I'll take you through it, and I think only other couple things to say is that this is the practice that it has been really taken out as something directly from Wholeness in Motion and applied in so many different circumstances. So everything from with little kids in a in a big summer camp, or people have actually used this in their wedding ceremony as a way to start their wedding ceremony. And some people, it's just the way they start and end their choir practice. Or someone wrote about how she uses it in her church group. And so anywhere there's a beginning and an ending, this can be used and modified and adapted. And you'll see what the pieces are and the principles. So even if this is the only way you've engaged with Wholeness in Motion, feel free. I hope you use and work with this threshold practice. Oh yeah, and one thing, someone just wrote me, someone who takes class, who she got a letter from a student who had been working with her years ago, and when I'm doing this video right now, it's in the depths of the COVID pandemic, and he wrote her to say, it was fine when they used to do it before choir, but he wrote her to thank her for this practice because he is using it like to get through this time, that he starts his day. You'll see one of the first phrases, I am as I am in the world as it is. Okay, so let's go through the threshold practice. I'll do a little bit of a setting the stage that I don't always do. But to give you, sometimes it can be lovely to have. So picture you come to standing in your space, have a little bit of a room, at least so you can take one step forward. And picture yourself in a threshold, kind of wide, an arbor. I have a green arbor and plants there. So I'm actually giving myself the image of stepping into a threshold area where I can pause. And I can pause to give myself a moment of, do I really want to step forward? Is it safe to step forward? Giving myself a moment to meet the unknown the way I want to meet the unknown, or transitioning to the next thing. So the practice it's a gesture and words. And this happens a lot in Wholeness in Motion, with the goal that the gesture becomes a shorthand for a whole series of concepts. And we've already done that with gesture. The earth comes up underneath us. The beauty of that is then the gesture alone can work. Once I've done it a lot, and maybe let's do it, and then I can elaborate on that. So the first sequence, I'm walking into my arbor, and I go, here I am, as I am. Here I am, as I am. Tired, alert, scared, calm, however I am, however you are, that's how we are. For this moment, nothing to change, nothing, just meeting myself. And this gesture feels like to me, I'm putting down a staff. You can find what this feels like so that you can stand inside of your own messy self, of your reality in this moment. Here I am, as I am, and the one thing I can take off my plate is needing to change. The next gesture. In the world, as it is. Taking in the world around me, in the world, wild, calm, polluted, pristine, judged, supported. For this moment, meeting the facts of the world, pleasant or unpleasant. In the world, I could make how big of the world will I today take in the world as it is. Here I am as I am in the world as it is. Supported by the planet. And the first time in a group, you'd say, feel that pressure between your hands and match that with the pressure of the earth coming up underneath you, that this is literal. This reminder with my hands is that feeling of the always fact that the earth is here supporting me. And the air I breathe, the atmosphere I am, is my lungs, the plants, the green around me, giving me oxygen, carbon dioxide exchange, the water, the food. Supported by the planet. And in the flow of time, in the history of the universe, so from my lineage, honoring my lineage all the way back to wherever you want to go, to the Big Bang, and that the earth, my atoms carry on. My atoms in me are here temporarily, and then they move on and carry forth. So I am in the flow of time. Where I am on this planet, dinosaurs roamed, algae was there, other peoples were here, other peoples or other creatures will be here in the future, in the flow of time. This is a perspective moment. Awake. Awake to what? What do you want to be awake to? What are you bringing in? What's happening next that you know is happening next, and what might you want to be awake to? When we end class, it's up and taking awake to, is there something I want to bring with me from what we just did? And then we take a step in, we enter into the next space. So let's put it all together. Once you've given some of the extra words to help make rich significance about each phase, it can go this simply. And you can keep developing. People write that they develop like at different days. This means perspective. They might use perspective on the flow of time of where they are in the concert. If they use this just before performance, or you can, of course, it's a seed out of which your interpretation you take. I'm throwing you the ball, and you make this your own. So let's just go through the whole thing simply. All right, everybody, let's start. Here I am, as I am, in the world, as it is, pleasant, unpleasant, supported by the planet, in the flow of time, floating in the multiverse. Awake to my being, to my state of being. Actually, I think I missed that in the intro. So awake to my state of being, or to what I want to be awake to. So thank you. That's the here I am threshold locating practice that we will do often in classes. And often I'm just going through it the way we just went through it so that you can get a sense of what these gestures and underpinnings are. And in that story of someone writing about the use of it, it's often just this gesture is equal, like, okay, here I am, I don't have to change anything, or okay, in the world, or this is like as shorthand, if you're somewhere and the meeting is crazy or people are yelling or something isn't the way you want it, it's like, okay, the world is like that. I start for a moment with accepting the facts, then I might, be awake to something where I might want to work on the change. It's a threshold to change. So these gestures can be taken in their isolations and supported. Like if you're feeling just off, like I'm supported by the planet, I'm supported. When all else fails, the earth is here. Or I need some perspective. I'm just narrowed in. I don't think I'll get this project done. It's like, okay, well, projects come and go, perspective. So each of these gestures can be a shorthand for a perspective that helps bring the whole of you into a manageable relationship with the reality of the world around us. Thanks.